A very good morning, and this is Ashmi speaking on behalf of Ixpoe, and I'm going to cover the topic nervous system and sense organs today. Now, as the name suggests, this is a very important and a very interesting topic which you should all know and read about it. Now, as we all know, that nervous coordination is very important for the normal functioning and the proper functioning of a body. So, this chapter talks about the nervous control of the various organs and between the various systems of our body. Now, first of all, let us see what do we mean by coordination. The interaction of the activities of a living being as per the needs of the body, internally or externally, is called as coordination. That is, coordination is nothing but the interaction of various activities of a body and coordination among these. This is what we refer to as coordination. The nervous coordination is brought about by the sense organs. That is, the nervous coordination is brought about by sense organs, that is, nerves, and brains. For example, when you're feeling hungry, you eat food. The act of eating food involves a number of coordinated activities. Your eyes look at the food placed on the table. So, say suppose you are hungry and you go to a restaurant and you see a plate of food. The plate of food may be anything, say a plate of kebab. Your eyes look at the food placed on the table, your brain records this information, and the action starts. The arms get the message and they are raised, and the hands hold the plate in which the food is kept. The fingers pick up the food and push it into the mouth. So, if this is your mouth, you take in these pieces of kebab inside your mouth. The food goes down through the alimentary canal. So this food, it finally goes down into alimentary canal, and after a series of processes in the body, reaches the bloodstream to fulfill the requirement that had arisen when you were hungry. So this is nothing but the coordination between different sense of the organs of the body which were acting at that point of time. Now, along with this coordination, nervous coordination, there can also be the chemical coordination in our body. Now, what do you mean by the chemical coordination? This coordination is brought about through chemical messengers called hormones. So this is brought about by chemical messengers which are nothing but hormones. Some examples of this category may be like, for example, if something is wrong in the stomach, you may vomit out the tastiest food you had eaten. So, the entire system of the body is acting through the nervous coordination and the chemical coordination. Now we'll see a little in detail about the nervous system of our body. First of all, let us see what is a nervous system. What is the basic component of a nervous system? The basic component of a nervous system. The basic component of a nervous system is made up of nerve cells or neurons. A neuron has a main cell body which is called the cyton, which gives out a number of processes. So, this neuron, now this is the main cell body. It should be little oval or circular in shape. So this cell body is round in shape and it has a nucleus in the center. So this is the main cell body of the nerve structure, cyton. Now, this cell body of the cyton has one long process, which is called as the axon. This axon is also referred to as a nerve fiber. So from one part here, we can see one long process will be there. One long process at one end will be there, and this whole process at one end is called the axon. This axon is enclosed in sheets. This axon is enclosed in sheets. Now this is one end of the main cell body of the cyton. At the other end, what we see is there are cytoplasmic processes. There are cytoplasmic processes at the other end which has various branches. You can see this, there are various branches, and these are called as the dendrites. These are called as the dendrites. So, to recap, the nervous system of the body is made up of a basic component which is called as a nerve cell or the neuron. A neuron has one main cell body which is called the cyton. One part of the cyton has a long fiber which is called as the axon, and on the other hand, that is on the other end, are several cytoplasmic processes which are branched and are called as the dendrites. So we saw that the cell body contained a nucleus in the center. The dendrites receive messages from the organs, and they transmit them through the cell body into the axon. So what is the process, what is the direction of the passage or the transmission of these sensory stimulus? Say, when you prick your hand with a needle, immediately what happens, the sensation comes to this dendrite. From the dendrite, it goes into this cyton, and from this cyton or the cell body, the sensation will further move towards the axon, that is the axon sheath. So this is how the sensations, how the various feelings which we are getting in and out and throughout the day is getting transferred. First from the dendrites, then to the cyton of the cell body, and then through the axon. The axon finally transmits the message to the muscles or to a gland. So what does the axon do? The axon will be either connected to a muscle fiber or a nerve or a gland or any motor muscle. So this will be connected These are the motor nerve endings of the axon sheath. So what I mean to say that suppose you prick a needle, what is the immediate reaction which we do? We immediately withdraw our hand from the needle. That is, first what is happening, see, all this is a process which takes hardly half a second or a millimeter of a second, but actually there is a process in our brain, there is a process in our body which is taking time to process this whole data. The first data which is received by the body is through the dendrites. It's telling, okay, fine, this is a prick. This information is passed into the cell body of the cyton. From here, the material gets processed. From here, the information gets passed to the axon. And what does the axon do? The axon says, okay, this needle is harmful for the body, so the finger should be removed. So it immediately acts on the muscles of the fingers and makes it contracts, and hence the finger moves from the needle. So this is how the sensations have traveled from the needle. The sensations have traveled from the finger to the brain to the axon, from the axon to the muscle fibers of the finger, and the finger we remove. The individual neurons makes contact through their processes. The axon of one neuron branches towards its end and lies very close to the dendrites of the other neuron. This point is called as a synapse. So, it is at the synapse that the message is transmitted from the axon of one neuron to the dendrites of the other neuron. So what we can say from here is the dendrites of one neuron, say the dendrites, these are the dendrites of one neuron. Say suppose another neuron is, instead of these motor nerve endings, there will be another neuron which will be starting from here. So again, instead of this motor muscle, the dendrites will be present over here. So this space between the axon and the dendrite of the another neuron will be called as a synapse. Now from this we can define what is a nerve. A nerve is a bundle of axons, that is nerve fibers enclosed in a tubular medullary sheath. I repeat, a nerve is formed of a bundle of axons, that is nerve fibers, which are enclosed in a tubular medullary sheath. So in a nerve, a number of such axons will be present, which will be enclosed in a bigger sheath with cyton at one end and either a motor nerve ending or a gland at the other end. So this was about the nervous system. Further, this nervous system can be classified into the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and further we have different parts of it like the brain. So hence, this is how important it was to understand the nervous system, the nervous control and the nervous coordination within different parts of the body.